How's it going? Today I'm going to show you how I assemble this platform bed frame. Now this is a metal platform bed frame with this wooden headboard and matching footer. This is a great bed frame because you do not need a box spring. The mattress goes directly on top. I'm going to go through each one of the steps so you guys can get an idea of how to put this together and what to look out for when you're putting it together. It took me about 35 to 40 minutes by myself to put this together, and going through the instructions, they were fairly straightforward. Step number one is going to be the braces for the headboard. It's going to be pieces 3 and 4. There's 4 sets of them. You're going to go ahead and match it up where one of them will have a bracket that locks into the other, but then there's going to be like a hook piece going upwards and then a hook going downwards. It kind of makes an S, and when you put the bolts in, you're going bolts down onto that. And then you're going to do the same thing for the footer, and that's just shown in step 2. You also want to use the bolts that are going to be bolt E. So bolts E are your smallest bolt, and they're the most bolts in the pack. You're going to use a bunch of those to attach them to these rail pieces, pieces 1 and 2. For step 3, you're going to actually put the slats on there. Now, the slats are going to pretty much slide under the brackets that you just put together, and you're going to bolt down into the slats. You can go ahead and lay down like the cardboard that it came in, or you could possibly put a blanket so you don't mar this up, but I didn't have any problem. I just made sure the floor was completely clean. Next, you're gonna go ahead and put bolts E for step number 4, and that's basically just attaching those like hook pieces to the actual slats. I just kind of finger tighten this. I used a drill on certain parts, but the majority of parts I use this ratcheting tool. There is an Allen key wrench that is going to be provided for you, but is a little quicker with the ratcheting tool. Step 5, you're going to do the same thing with the footer that you just did for the header. Now jumping over to step 7, you're going to put these rails on the side. Those are labeled part number 7, and when you open them up, you're going to go ahead and use bolt A. They're going to come from the back side of the headboard and come into the rails. Now, if you are by yourself, you might want to lean this against a wall and then kind of like angle up the rail so you can get the bolts in. If you're with another person, it's going to go a lot faster. You do the same thing for the footer with bolt A coming in from like the outside in. Step 9, you're going to put the middle bracket. Now this middle bracket piece is going to, expand out, and the legs just drop on down. You have piece G that's going to be at the end, and basically that's going to attach to your footer. One thing to look out for the next step when you're attaching that middle brace piece is where the S looking piece with the hooks on the footer are, one of those bolts matches up. So like you're gonna actually connect the middle piece with the bolt that goes there. So if you put it in there by like already when you're assembling it, you just take it back out, put the middle brace in, and then replace that bolt. So I ended up doing that. It's no big deal. It's just something to kind of look out for. Step number 11, you're going to actually be at the most difficult part of this entire build. So these pieces right here in the middle, there's 2. There's one at the top part and one at the bottom part. Those are going to be like half pieces, and the part that goes in the middle, you're going to see a little opening like a hole, and you want to make sure they mate one up, one down. So you don't want them both down or else it's not going to interlock. Those are going to slide into the channel, and then on the outsides, you're going to put bolts C, and that's going to lock it in place. Now, it says to go 70% of the way. I actually went a little bit further, but the main thing to do is to do the middle ones first. Do not start at the top or the bottom. It's much easier to manipulate it with the middle as opposed to working from one end to the other. Once you do get those, mostly tightened, you're going to come back and place bolts B on the top and bottom one, and then bolt C for the middle. And what you're doing there is you're matching up 3 hole openings, the ones that's on the brace, and then the 2 that are in each one of the middle braces. So it's a little tricky. It's definitely the hardest part of the build, but it's not that hard. It's just something to kind of like take your time with. Lastly, you're just going to put the slats down. Now, these slats were extremely satisfying to put in place. It's just this rectangle piece of metal, and then the backside is going to have a clip. So you just place this into the hole, and then on the backside here, you just kind of line this up with the channel and just set it down. It's not tight, it's not hard, nothing comes off. Everything fits nicely. These are like half slats, right? So it's really easy to, take apart. There are a lot of pieces and it looks intimidating at first, but I was able to do this no problem. The bolts are all there. They actually give you spares if you need to. I would refrain from using a drill just because it can be a lot on some of these pieces. And for the most part, like I said, the ratcheting tool worked fine, but the Allen key is there if you need it for attaching this together. Overall, this is a pretty solid bed frame. Going to be able to hold that mattress without needing a box spring. It is going to be kind of like open off the edge because there's no rails or anything like that. But you have a nice wooden headboard. It's got a mixture of that wood with metal. I feel like it's a great kind of warm, inviting look. Perfect for any bedroom. It's just going to be a nice, compact bed frame that's going to be able to get you through the night.